Today is day 140 of Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, it would be very greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today, Be'ezras Hashem Yisborach, we will have a red letter occasion, which is we will be going from Siman Tzadik Tes Siv Zayin to Siman Tzadik Kuf Aleph Siv Gimel, which means we will pass the 100 Siman mark in our journey through the Arukh HaShulchan. Kenya is ready to Hashem Hala, Lilmod Lamed, and to complete the Arukh HaShulchan OC and beyond. So we're up to Tzadik Tes Zayin. Kaspa Tur Be'Shulchan Aruch. The Torah Shulchan Beis wrote Derech Meal Ushtein Koshu to walk a meal, which is about a kilometer, Russian verst, as we have said, and sleeping any amount. Figures the other day dissipate the wine. Body meal drank 3.3 ounces according to Reb Chaim Noah, 4.1 says the guys according to Chazonish. Also the meal according to Arukh HaShulchan. However, Im Shlasi Yoytze be drank more. Kosh Kesh here it says brackets Ma'at, a short amount of sleep. The Shakarto makes them drunk. The Derech Daso and the traveling will distract him. Vani mila b'malach bragad, but you're walking by your legs. Avaroche vare derech mefika yain. But if you're riding, says the Torah Shulchan, definitely dissipates the wine at kalashara. But Torah v'zeh mei bahag, Torah brings us around balochs gedelis. Yikshu kol gedolim od gedolim master be'ervin muchach lehedja. In Ervin, it's clear that Baroche took sholosh minute. Somebody who's riding needs 3 meal. Ayin sham. The Varim Rabbin then was many approaches have been said about this. In terms of actual halacha, Revi is daim meal. I don't know how you get drunk at 3.3 to 4.1 ounces of wine, but okay, if you had I guess if you got somewhat what's what we're looking for, not inebriated, but I don't know, can't think of a word, lively, whatever the case may be, bubbly. That's not the words looking for. One of the bees need 3 meal. Varif Arosh Los Kiru Klal Chiluk Shben Roch Lamach. The Rif Rosh did not mention the distinction between riding and walking at all. Nearly as feeling must cost the Shas Be'er Sham and Tzulchalit Ben Roch Levanik. Ayin Sham, they evidently hold there's no distinction according to the conclusion of the Shas between riding or walking. In the long brackets here, he says, the sphere laid long money rochu meal. So it's a writing meal does not work to more. Then came Shita Shel and Farish Kate. That was the case, they should have said this explicitly. Doesn't mention this distinction. The theme was astonishing. The Ram Kosav cloud things of Tefillah. Ram doesn't mention this halacha in Tefillah at all. Last Tefillah perhaps he holds that the Dafka in Bias Mikdash, specifically in terms of coming into the Beis HaMikdash, for that purpose, the Michal Avoida, where your Michal Avoida, if you go in, Michal Misa Tzor Medaktik Kach V'Rav, so then you have to be Medaktik even on a Revi, it's a small amount, to make sure it dissipates before you enter the Beis HaMikdash. I feel Koshin Elosh is sorry you know me Allah, and yeah, that means that to follow the whole rigmarole. But by davening, as long as you can feel that the wine's effect is dissipated, Muti Spali La Dav V'Duk, and that makes a lot of sense. Ches Kasab Rabbeinu Beis Yosef B'Sif Gimel Kol Echad Shu Shasi, anybody who drank. Sagel Efi Mash Markish Nav Shoshi Efi. They know it's enough for him. Whatever he feels dissipates his wine. Gal Shono. B'Sif Ragol and Beis Yosef B'Sif Shem Magoyin. They didn't move my commercial. It's not clear what's the chiddush here. Nearly borrowed, so it seems to be clear. Says Arukh HaShulchan the Gamral Mekan. It does that here. Lo Nachli Chayik Ben Shlesa Beis L'Shasi Yoser. We're not doing the distinction between drinking reus or more. And between little or a lot of sleep. And between them going a meal more or less. Because that which Chazal said, in terms of the specific measures, in terms of how sober the dying has to be in order to be matir neder. The who laughed araisa, so they're going to have to araisa for dying to be drunk. And he has bias mikdash, like you mentioned the brackets before. In terms of bias mikdash, sheyesh b'zech misa. However, there's misa b'dei shamayim. Avo betfila ain't so daktek was that. I'm not sure where in bracket was brackets before, but here it's explicit. And the tefillah don't be so meticulous. Of course, you know shapat geno. Anybody who feels that the wine is dissipated, mutarli ispalel is allowed to daven. He said, move on. Das Rambam Perek Dal mitfila shishmi kozek v'shlav siva kodem. And now we understand why the Rambam left this out, because here it is relative, not absolute. And he brings down here the bracket Shulchan Aruch Kasu Shnei Hadinim. Sarachin. The question is why the Shulchan Aruch wrote both halachas, but with that he does not give an answer. Test. Kasu Rabbeinu Ramad L'chein Ein Yisrael Mi B'Eino Shalonu. The reason we're not careful with our wine, Shein Chazokin, because they are not strong. She responded that we daven Avo B'Shishos Ravius B'Yosei. Even if you drank more than Ravius. And evidently, I guess back then the wines were extremely fortified, because we have heavy alcohol wines now, like 15%, and they don't have that kind of impact. But back then, it must have been packed a punch. And fascinating. The Abin out of a sitter, says the Ramah, it's not a little bit of drunkenness is not even an issue. That's an interesting idea. Akal Shoro. For the Rovi Yerushalayim Muravi, but my Rabim are wines, many are much water. I'm not sure that's true anymore. But anyway, all the means also you gotta scope down the reus in one shot in order for it to have that kind of impact. Like the end of the fourth paragraph in Sukkah. But that's not so prevalent. For the Mshasim Sachamozon Yain, another case that where it doesn't get you drunk is if you're eating. Shabsachamozon ain't no Mishaka. When you're eating, it doesn't make you drunk. Yes, some say the leave Mozon Mishaka. Then before you eat, it doesn't make you drunk. Come, raw in terms of pasking. You should not pasking even if you drank inside within the Suda. Yotiv Yochel is Pal Mincha Alpi Shosak and Yotiv you could die Mincha even though you drank a little bit. The Yivsham Tina Chabi, you can't wait until all that wine you had for lunch dissipates. Kosh Kanina, especially today, the anyway, we don't have so much kavana. Pashu the Koah Mashkin and Mashakrin Dinim Kiyain. That's obvious that all other substances, whether liquid or solid or smoke, they have the halacha of wine. Shita the Yain Sar Mashakir Harbe. That's Pashu that whiskey is causes very much drunkenness. And therefore you have to be particularly careful. There is a lot of Mishnah Berurah on this. First Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says everything which he said in this is talking about a shasui, person who is inebriated, but a shikar, somebody who's drunk, has to be carefully according to us. The Mishnah Berurah also writes he was drank more than base. It's also no matter what until the wine dissipates. Not like the Arukh HaShulchan. I think when you make a Arukh HaShulchan, the Arukh HaShulchan writes that everything is according to what you understand, and I think in other words, in terms of whether eating the meal does impact upon him becoming drunk or not, it's based on your own experience. Mishnah writes that according to the Taz, other beverages such as whiskey, they get you drunk even with less than revius. Mishnah Berurah says though the ratio, I'm not sure what it means, maybe the alcoholic content, don't know exactly, should be of the whiskey should be such that it gets you, it's only a problem if it's such that it is similar, tantamount to what a revius wine would do to you. Kuf, Simon Kuf. Din shel sadat tefillah she'ein tedira. Allah, you have to arrange in your mind a tefillah which is only occasionally said. Actually, doesn't say in your mind, just arrange. Of course, I was so back down. Tefillos are prokim. Tefillos which you say occasionally. You go on tefillos musaf, Rosh Chodesh, Rishon Moados, tefillos musaf, Rosh Chodesh, and Yom Tov Mitzvah. Last dear tefillos. So you have to first arrange your davening, your v'acharka, or make it 12, and then stand the davening. They should kosher in order not to stumble in it. Kind of shoro. We'll be shili Rosh Hashanah. It's going to the end of Rosh Hashanah. About Torah Kosav to Das HaRosh. Ain't tzorich Rosh Chodesh rak b'Regolim. Rosh Chodesh, we're only unfamiliar with Regolim, not Rosh Chodesh, which we're more familiar with. I actually find the opposite. Because I'm forcing to aim back at the correct, and it's like the first say it's not necessarily that way. Rashi Shamashi Gatur, Rashi does seem to say at the Torah. Maybe it's just because that feels Shamados to show Rosh Hashanah. He writes about the davening Moab B'das Rosh Hashanah. Says Arukh HaShulchan Menira did Tovus Tatfusu. It's a mistake. Tzarich L'Mashal Rosh Chodesh V'chein B'Levush, because Rosh Hashanah nobody has any havamina that you know by heart, I guess. Basically, I have to tell you that the Tefillah Rosh Hashanah of not a Muslim, of course, I do know by heart. For some reason, it's stuck with me. Basically, please, Shachris Kankin Tefillas Brokim. Hey, what about the occasional davenings during Shachris? Vani Yalav Yavo, which you don't always have. Lama Kasur Tefillas Muslim. Why they mention Muslim specifically? Yeshamar Quid saying we shouldn't feel good sorry because Yalav Yavo is short. Besides that, it's much more prevalent because it's said in all the tefillos and in benching as well. Some say the dafkush is spelling on pets, only if you're davening by heart. I was spelling to siddur, davening out of siddur mutter, it's okay. The roem ashi spelling is davening in any event. Cheinogin, that's the nekakal shona. Yesh magam, given says some people have some question about this, and their questions may be ignored. Mishnah Berurah writes, that Pri Megaon writes, the name of the Bach, the Pri Chodesh write, the Yalav Yov and Shachas or Chanukah Purim, also you have to arrange ahead of time or daven out of a siddur. Mishnah Berurah says that Philos and Putim, whose Perush is difficult, you have to arrange ahead of time, and that fact you're holding a siddur doesn't do any good. So for Arukh HaShulchan, it sounds like it's really an issue of reciting the words properly, but the Mishnah Berurah seems to really also to understanding the content of what you're saying. Gimel. Ach bemes ein a minhag etzleinu kach. A minhag by us is not like this in any event. After mishpalim bal peh, even though we daven bal peh, ein masaji kodim, we don't arrange ahead of time. Feel between us yom no roim, ein regil masaji kodim. If it's yom roim, but we don't peruse them ahead of time to familiarize ourselves with them. Like I'm talking about Rakal Sheikh Tzibor Mitzvah too. Perhaps the Gemara is referring specifically to the Chazan. Not in every individual. Akamar lo mashkin. The one doesn't seem to say that Einsham. For Tarchu Kama Gedolim Bezeh, several Gedolim written about this. V'lo lu shum teretz. They did not bring up any good sufficient answer. The nearly it seems to me the name Rivkos of Shom Davagav that shots Eno Poter Elash Eno Baki. So even though the Riv writes there that despite the fact that the Tzibor only exempts those who are not bekim, those who are not experts. To come on them as shots mitchila. But so, if you hear from the shlitzim from beginning to end, yotze gam abaki. Also, baki is yotze ayicham. Ufi say according to this yesham the chenu mispalim ba'apeh gam rosh chodesh shana v'yom kippur chagim rosh chodesh. Wow, it's a fascinating limud schos and fascinating radical understanding. He says people down ba'apeh by Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh, miman afshach. All right, if we make a mistake, we'll still. It's true, it's with the evidence that for Bucky you shouldn't do it, but still, you're with the Shliach Tzibor. Rosh Chodesh ha'ochim b'derech mispam b'yichidu somchei al daras hatur v'rashi yikasu v'kazam l'sif aleph. Those who are done michidus or going on the way rely on those who hold the tefillas. Rosh Chodesh is shogar b'fiv. It is doesn't say shogar b'fiv here. It's my use of the language. Is something which you're accustomed to. Mishnah Berurah writes that it's certainly appropriate to be careful about the fields of Chanukah, Purim, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. At least the first tefillah daven on these days to daven out of the siddur. And then you already have them arranged. So Mishnah takes the arrangement into account more than the Arukh HaShulchan. Kufav shetzorach chavim b'chol habrachos, which says that going to all brachos. Aleph hamispal tzorach shechav b'chol brachos. Davening after kavana, all the brachos you say. Ein yichol chavim kul if you can't be mechavim all them lefachos yichavim b'avos. At least have kavana in the first brachos Shemona Esrei. So the brachas with baruch was same as the baruch. This is the more important bracha because it starts with the baruch and ends with the baruch. Kama shemas niskurban has several names of God in different variations. Okay, Seinu, such as God and God of our fathers. We smuchla Gal Yisrael. Also, the first time after Gal Yisrael. All this gives this definite chashivas to this brachas over others. V'gam ba b'atzman yizkeres hagula mentions redemption. May be goel. Zeshem hagura lo yamud adam atzmo. That's when it says the person always assess himself. Yochel lechavin and yispal. Even akavana you can tell shadam you love ispal. Not you should not daven. Kaganki and ovos. It's also going on ovos. A person should reckon whether you can say the kavanah or not. Yisher shav os yochel lechavin. And if you know that ovos you can have kavanah. Am shabacher is low yuchal lechavin. Even the other brachos will not have kavanah. Yispal shadaven beim gam beovos lo yuchal lechavin. Person can't be mechaven even of us. Al yispal. Shouldn't daven. Those brackets here shouldn't have another mile of the first brachas comes chus gimel of us yeshu brachasu. So it's chus of the Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Just want to mention that everybody in you learned in yeshiva knows the famous Reb Chaim says that tzvei dinim in kavana of Pirush Hamilos, kavana of Omer Lifnei Melech, and even the rest of Shmones need kavana of Omer Lifnei Melech, but kavana Pirush Milim is only in the first bracha. Base came to Kavana of Avos, since the primary Kavana is in Avos. So Chen Kassel to Shulchan Aruch, as the Shulchan Aruch write the im lo kivem Avos. You do not have proper Kavanas. Avos you should give Mechol Tefillah, even though you had Kavana the rest of the davening. So the Chacham probably have to go back and daven again. Rabbeinu Ramah Kosav, Ramah writes that even though today ain't no Chazim Shechison Kavana, we don't ever go back because of lack of Kavana. Dav Shaf Chazor Kavos Shalei Chaven. Who says it's going to be Chaven the next time around? Kid Lama Chazor, why should I go back? Kalashono. It's a little longish Mishnah Berurah here. The Chai Adam writes that since Mitzvah Din, you do have to go back and daven again. If you mention, therefore, if you remember they didn't have gone before Bruchat Hashem, the end of the bracha, go back to start again from Lokei Avraham. Be'alocha writes that if you are now by a Togi bar and you didn't realize you didn't have Kavan Avos, it's not clear if you can go on. You have an Eitzah that you should not say anything. Now, just wait for the Shliach Tzibor, that'll say Birchas Avos, and have mind to say with him. And then when Shliach Geshatz gets the bracha with Gibor, you can start up with him. I don't know anybody who does that. I think today we take the Arukh HaShulchan as a quote from the Ramah as our basis, who says we'll have Kavana next time around. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Mash Basko Sim Sam Gimelim Lochvim B'Shmai So Choizer. What about the says if you need a Kavana Shmai So go back? Here it should be the same thing. In fact, Chomer Shabbat is the same thing. That's only it's only one pasuk. The knuckle. It's easy to have it. Nevertheless, a person reckons about himself. Mikodem that he won't be able to have gone above us. A gamma even lo yispalel shouldn't daven that day. Achmiyani, but I am astounded. Lama leviu b'shor din zeklau. Then we understand halacha not to daven kavon and avos. Bishlam Rambam lo yizasi shapir. Of course, that Rambam didn't bring down. It now makes sense. We should look for pasuk berg dal. Three din the Gemara the Erevin shebesim tzariches. He baskets like the Gemara in Erevin, which he brought down Simon tzariches sif dal, which we will quickly look up, which says that you're not supposed to daven. You're distracted, such as you came from a long derech, etc. So that's supposed to daven when you came from derech because of the lack of our. Or it includes this concept of not davening because you came with chavin in general. Shulchan says that we're not careful about this. Why did they bring this? Says obviously they hold that we can't be precise in fulfilling this statement as well. Not to daven if you can't have estimate, you can't have kavanah. And today we don't have this halacha not to daven in these circumstances. We rely on the statement that an Erevin that they could I forget who said it. Somebody could exempt the whole word from tefillah because who knows the mechavin in our day and age the tzorich iyun. The Mishra writes that if you reckon that even obviously you're not going to you should not God daven until you can calm yourself down. And kavan at least in office, like we said before, that's the chatchila. But the evidence, if you said, "Oh, damn shmei and the now kavan office," our minute is not to go back. Gimel, gam b'modim yeshiz zorma obi kavana. But in the same body, we also be very careful about kavana, even though it's not the same as office, but it's up there. The Mishra brings out the Smak wrote that in terms of the event, modim is lighter than avos. The Aguda doesn't make that differentiation. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Why should we care about modim? Because it's thankfulness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Yosef Yeshi Zav Shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu also betfila. Me beat tefillah. Generally speaking, you should be very more careful when praising Hashem or thanking Him than you are in tefillah in general. I took us of Shem Rabbeinu Eliezer, the two writes the name of Rabbi Eliezer, Shargala Matzmo, the Chavim, the Chasim is called Brachos. A person should accustom himself, habituate himself to have Kavana at the end of every bracha. Sheish Bahem Kuf Yud Gimel tables. Apparently, if you take all the Chasimas of all the brachos Knesset together, I have not tried this. There are 113 words, which are the precise number of words in the tefillah of Chana. Further in the Torah, the Kuf Yud Gimel Pamim, it says 113 times, lave. That's cool. When Moshe Tzai Ben Kavanah state indicate Yi Kavanah Salev. Ayin Sham. Okay, see that in the tour. Both the brachos eikorados, and besides on a more simple level, the end of each bracha is it's ikar, and therefore it's appropriate to be meticulous about kavanah at that stage.